Ladies and gentlemen, as you sit here tonight, there's a girl named Mary who stands on a ward in a mental hospital in New York City. I'm hundreds of miles away, and yet, at this instant, I know exactly what Mary is doing. I don't have to be there. I know what she's doing. This is the way Mary is standing right now. Motionless, cringing, rigid. This is the way Mary has been standing for the past 19 years. And in those 19 years, she hasn't uttered one single word, nor has she even eaten a single thing. She's fed through a tube, or she dies. Mary never cries. Smack her, pinch her, hurt her. Not one tear will you get. Ever. Mary also never laughs. I dare you to make her do either one. Well, I have a little question for you. Would you tell me, please, how did Mary get like this? Didn't I just finish saying no one is born that way? Don't you think Mary was a little girl who jumped rope in a schoolyard? Didn't Papa buy her a doll and carriage for her 10th Christmas? Why, certainly. That's Mary's story, like any little girl's story. Well then, how did Mary get like this? To know the answer to that, you must take a very deep look in here and in here. Then you would see that this, for Mary, is an adjustment. This an adjustment? How? My sweetheart left me. I've been hurt. How will I ever find another sweetheart? Who would ever love a homely girl like me? Even my own parents don't love me as much as they love my other sister. She's so pretty. My father laughs at me. He calls me stupid. I'm not stupid. I'm afraid. I'm afraid to talk to people. I'm afraid they'll laugh at me. I wish I could run away, someplace where no one could ever hurt me again. Yes, that's what I'll do. I'll run away. I'll go where I'll never love anyone else again, where no one can hurt me again. I leave. And there you have it. In her fear of losing love, being laughed at, failing, Mary commits emotional suicide. Now, Ernest Hemingway can blow his brains out and kill himself physically. Mary has killed herself emotionally. Both are equally dead. Do you know how many people stand like Mary right now, tonight? More than there are graduates in all the colleges and universities of America put together. That's how many. And do you know what hurts? This is all avoidable if we would only learn how to face, solve, and adjust to life problems without going to pieces. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is called mental hygiene. And mental hygiene is something you learn. You're not born with it. You learn it. Yet what are the high schools of America so busy teaching? Plain geometry, trigonometry, and all the other junk that you never even need to get inside a mental hospital at all. If anything, the plain geometry helps to push you in a little faster. Why don't they teach us how to overcome worry, how to prevent ulcers, how to get a good discount? Well, don't you think that's more important? Here's what I mean by mental hygiene. A salesman was driving his car along New York's Lower East Side. He happened to knock over a little old Jewish lady. He pulled up his brakes, stuck his head out the window and said, "Watch out!" She said, "What's the matter? You coming back?" Let me show you my favorite illustration of mental hygiene. It's my favorite only because it's so simple. Here, watch this. Here are two women. They lose a sweetheart. Same problem, yes? One shoots herself. The other one looks around for another sweetheart. I don't know how many of you here this evening are so romantic that you think there's a one and only for you in this world. You're my one and only schmo. What nonsense. There are bigger and better schmoes around. There's no one and only for anyone in this world. And any psychologist will tell you that you can be happy with thousands. Not at the same time, of course, you understand that. I don't want to start you off on a project over here, you see. Look, there's no one and only for anyone. Don't let a broken love affair break you up. One lady, when her husband died, she had engraved on his tombstone, "My light has gone out." A few years later, she was about to remarry, so she went to the bishop and said, "Bishop, don't you think I should erase it?" He said, "No, no, no, just right underneath, I have struck another match." Now, when you go home tonight, and if your family or friends should ask you, "What did the speaker speak about at the dinner last night?" What did he speak about? He spoke about mental hygiene. Mental hygiene? What's that? What's that? Could you tell them? In case you can't, here is the finest definition of mental hygiene I've ever seen. I didn't see it in a psychiatry book. I saw it on a menu in a restaurant. And this is what it said. "As you ramble on through life, brother, whatever be your goal, keep your eye upon the donut and not upon the hole." It means be a little optimistic. For heaven's sakes, if a man comes home and says to his wife, "I lost my job," she says, "Well, so what? You'll find another job." "I don't think I'll ever find another job." "All right, you've convinced me. Let's turn on the gas." Speaking of optimists, I know a man who's really an optimist. He's 82 years old, just got married, and started looking for a new house near a school. Now, he's sure to be a success, don't you think? A lady walked up to me after my talk one night. She said, "Dr. Banks, I've listened very carefully to every word you've said. I'd like you to show me how I can become permanently well-adjusted." I said, "In cemeteries, they're permanently well-adjusted." May I share a little slogan with you that I've stolen from a Wisconsin dairy? On every one of their milk bottles, here is what they've printed. "Our cows are not contented. They are anxious to do better." Now, I hope that you are not too confused on the difference between a neurotic and a psychotic. It will help you remember it if I tell you that the neurotic is the type of person who is always building dream castles in the air. The psychotic is the one who moves in. And the psychiatrist collects the rent. By the way, do you know the difference between a psychiatrist and a proctologist? Do you know what a proctologist is? He's a medical specialist who deals exclusively with the disorders of the rear, a sort of rear admiral of medicine. I mention it to you because I want to tell you about a psychiatrist and a proctologist who went into practice together. You're beginning to notice the possibilities, aren't you? They wanted to print up a little card that would very quickly and simply tell what they did. One of them said, "Why don't we just say nuts and butts?" See, that's simple, isn't it? The other one said, "Well, it's simple, but it's not dignified." And he thought a while. He said, "How about rears and queers?" Well, that didn't pass either. You know what they settled for? Odds and ends. Now, let me ask you a little question. Answer this question to yourselves, please, not out loud. How many of you believe that you are normal? Are you normal if you talk to yourself? Yes, so long as you know that it's you that's doing the talking. You're not crazy if you talk to yourself, only if you listen. Now, what is the difference between normal and abnormal? What is it the insane do that you don't do? Not a blessed thing. The only difference between normal and abnormal is not what you do, it's how much you do and when. For example, aren't there some mornings you get up, you feel depressed, blue, don't want to work at all? Well, that's normal. But if you should stay depressed, then the mental hospital will come and get you. Aren't there some mornings you get up, you feel very, very happy? But if you stay very, very happy, they come and get you too. I never talk about normalcy, that I don't think of one little man who walked into a psychiatrist's office, sat down very quietly, took a cigarette out of his pocket, opened up the cigarette, took the tobacco, and stuffed the tobacco into his nose. The psychiatrist looked at him. He said, "Oh, I see you need my help." He said, "Yeah, you got a match?"